Essay 4. What is Poverty? By Jo Goodwin Parker. Summary. In the poignant essay titled What is Poverty?, Jo Goodwin Parker shares her personal experiences of living in poverty, shedding light on the harsh realities faced by the impoverished. Throughout the essay, Parker presents a candid and unfiltered account of her struggles, starting from her childhood to adulthood, showcasing the myriad adversities endured by those trapped in poverty. Poverty, as described by Parker, is a state of despair, where basic necessities like nutritious food, healthcare, sanitation, and education become elusive dreams. It corrodes not just the physical well-being but also erodes one's dignity, self-respect, and prospects for a better future. Through her writing, Parker aims to dispel any romanticized notions of poverty often portrayed by the media and instead wants her readers to comprehend the dehumanizing and degrading aspects of living in poverty. In Parker's world, poverty extends beyond financial hardships. It is a relentless struggle to secure a better life for her children. Her husband, unable to cope with the burdens of a poverty-stricken life, abandons the family without any farewell. Left to fend for herself and her 3 children, Parker finds herself navigating through each day with meager wages from a demanding job. She faces health issues, such as anemia, due to a lack of proper nutrition, but is unable to afford medical treatment. The hardships of poverty further take a toll on her ability to provide adequate care for her children. Unable to afford nursery school fees, she is forced to leave her job to care for her children. Despite her best efforts, she recounts a heart-wrenching incident where her children were found in pitiable conditions, emphasizing the challenges faced by impoverished parents to ensure their children's well-being and safety. Parker's narrative serves as a call to action, urging readers to recognize the pervasive impact of poverty on individuals and families. Her raw and unvarnished account forces us to confront the systemic issues that perpetuate poverty and the need for comprehensive solutions to uplift those affected by it. By sharing her story, Parker brings humanity to the statistics and reminds us that poverty is not merely an abstract concept but a harsh reality that millions endure every day. She seeks to break the cycle of silence surrounding poverty and ignite empathy and understanding among the privileged, challenging them to advocate for change and social justice. Jo Goodwin Parker's essay What is Poverty? Is a stark portrayal of the destitution and suffering experienced by individuals trapped in poverty. Through her personal account, she shatters misconceptions and highlights the pressing need for compassionate action to alleviate the burdens faced by the impoverished. Her words are a potent reminder that poverty is not just a matter of economics but a humanitarian crisis that demands our collective attention and commitment to creating a more just and equitable society. Understanding the text. Answer the following questions. A. What is poverty according to Parker? In Jo Goodwin Parker's perspective, poverty goes far beyond a mere lack of material resources. It is a corrosive force that erodes the very essence of human dignity and well-being. Parker vividly describes poverty as a state where hope, access to nutritious food, healthcare, proper sanitation, and education are all luxuries beyond reach. She metaphorically likens poverty to an acid, gradually devouring one's pride, self-respect, physical health, and prospects for a better future. This poignant portrayal serves as a powerful reminder that poverty is not merely an economic condition but a deeply dehumanizing and degrading experience that affects every aspect of a person's life. Parker's words compel us to confront the harsh realities of poverty and advocate for lasting change and support for those trapped in its clutches. B. How is poverty difficult for Parker's children? List some specific examples. In Jo Goodwin Parker's heartbreaking account, her 3 children suffer immensely due to the dire financial circumstances of their family. They endure a life of misery marked by inadequate food, lack of proper clothing, limited access to education, and no medical care. Parker vividly describes the deteriorating health of her children, painting a grim picture of their daily struggles. They are deprived of nutritious meals, dressing in filthy clothes, and being unable to attend school. The incident she recounts of leaving her children under her mother's care highlights the alarming neglect they face. Her youngest child covered in fly specks with unchanged diapers, the next one playing with broken glass, and the eldest left unattended by the lake all reflect the harsh realities of poverty they endure. Parker's poignant narrative compels readers to recognize the urgent need for addressing the plight of impoverished families and advocating for better support systems to protect vulnerable children from such deprivation. C. How does Parker try to obtain help, and what problems does she encounter? In her desperate attempt to seek help for her children's dire situation, Jo Goodwin Parker reaches out to various individuals and institutions, spreading her hands in front of them. However, the lack of funds and resources makes this task incredibly challenging for her. She struggles to find the right people and organizations who can provide the support her family needs. This often leads to her moving from one organization to another, waiting and narrating her heart-wrenching story repeatedly. The process is emotionally draining and adds to the burdens she already carries. Parker's relentless pursuit of assistance highlights the arduous journey that impoverished individuals must undertake to secure basic necessities for their families and underscores the urgency for a more comprehensive and compassionate social support system. D. Why are people's opinions and prejudices her greatest obstacles? In Jo Goodwin Parker's struggle to seek help for her family, the greatest obstacles she faces are people's opinions and prejudices. Many individuals are ignorant about the harsh realities of poverty and fail to understand the depth of suffering it brings. Their lack of empathy and judgmental attitudes towards the poor lead them to express unfounded opinions and prejudices. Unfortunately, these negative perceptions hinder Parker from receiving the much-needed support for her family's well-being. People's misconceptions and biases about poverty prevent them from offering a helping hand and further isolate those in need. This underscores the importance of raising awareness and promoting empathy to break down the barriers that prevent impoverished individuals from accessing essential resources and support. It also highlights the need for society to address its own prejudices to build a more compassionate and inclusive community. E. How does Parker defend her inability to get help? How does she discount the usual solutions society has for poverty, e.g., welfare, education, and health clinics? In her defense of her inability to get help and support, Jo Goodwin Parker recounts her own harrowing experiences with welfare, education, and health clinics. She exposes the shortcomings and inefficiencies of these programs that are meant to assist the poor. Despite being in dire need, she finds herself moving from one agency to another, repeatedly demonstrating her poverty and facing shame at every turn. Welfare programs promise assistance, but the process is cumbersome and time-consuming. School lunch programs do little to alleviate the dire circumstances of her children's education. As for health clinics, Parker's life is far from the convenience of such facilities, requiring her to walk long distances for medical help. The negative assumptions and attitudes of helpers further alienate her from the much-needed support. Parker's personal experiences highlight the systemic failures and the disconnection she feels from these critical aspects of her life due to society's inadequate solutions to poverty. Reference to the context. A. Explain the following. Poverty is looking into a black future. In the essay What is Poverty? Jo Goodwin Parker uses the powerful line "Poverty is looking into a black future" to convey the grim reality of living in poverty. She wants her readers to understand the profound impact poverty has on people's lives and their outlook for the future. Poverty, as she describes, is a constant struggle for basic necessities like food, shelter, and medical care, leaving no room for hope and improvement. It is a state of despair and uncertainty, where dreams and aspirations are shattered by the harshness of daily existence. Parker's words serve as a call to action, urging readers to recognize the devastating effects of poverty and work towards creating a more just and equitable society where everyone can have a brighter and more promising future. B. What does Parker mean by "the poor are always silent"? In her essay, Jo Goodwin Parker highlights the plight of the poor when she refers to them as always silent. Poverty strips people of their voice and agency, leaving them feeling powerless and voiceless in society. Money becomes the key determinant of their well-being and access to basic necessities, and without it, they are left feeling weak and vulnerable. Poor individuals often find themselves in situations where they have to endure others' judgments and condescension, unable to speak up or defend themselves due to their disadvantaged position. Their silence is a consequence of their economic circumstances, which limit their ability to assert themselves and advocate for their rights. Parker's poignant portrayal of the poor's silence underscores the urgent need for social and economic change to empower these individuals and give them a voice in shaping their own destinies. C. What writing strategy does the author use at the beginning of most of the paragraphs? Do you notice a recurring pattern? What is it? Jo Goodwin Parker's use of the repetitive phrase "poverty is at the beginning of each paragraph" is a powerful rhetorical strategy that effectively emphasizes the multiple facets of poverty. This repetition not only reinforces the central theme but also establishes a connection between the narrator and the readers. By addressing the readers directly and involving them in the discussion, the essay becomes more relatable and personal. Parker's casual writing style further enhances this sense of intimacy, making the readers feel as if they are engaged in a heartfelt conversation with the author. This approach not only draws the reader's attention but also evokes empathy and understanding for the hardships faced by those living in poverty. Overall, Parker's skillful use of repetition and conversational tone makes her essay compelling and impactful, successfully conveying the harsh realities of poverty. D. How does Parker develop each paragraph? What details make each paragraph memorable? In each paragraph, Parker develops her description of poverty by starting with the repetitive phrase "poverty is," followed by vivid and poignant details. She uses concrete examples and personal experiences to paint a clear and relatable picture of the hardships faced by the poor. These details make each paragraph memorable as they evoke strong emotions and create a lasting impact on the reader. For instance, she describes the lack of proper food, medical care, and education, the struggle to provide for her children, the humiliating process of seeking assistance, and the helplessness of the poor in the face of societal prejudices. By grounding her essay in specific and evocative details, Parker ensures that each paragraph resonates with the reader, effectively conveying the harsh realities of poverty. In the final paragraph, how does the author use questions to involve the reader in the issue of poverty? In the final paragraph, Parker skillfully employs questions to create an engaging and persuasive tone, drawing readers into the issue of poverty. Her direct and informal conversational style serves to connect with the audience on a personal level. By posing questions, she challenges readers to re-evaluate their perspective on poverty and urges them to look at the poor with empathy and indignation rather than pity. This approach stirs the reader's emotions and captures their undivided attention. Through her masterful use of questions, Parker effectively drives her message home, successfully shedding light on her own struggles and those of others facing poverty. As a result, the final paragraph leaves a powerful and lasting impact on the readers, compelling them to reflect on the harsh realities of poverty and the urgent need for social change. Reference beyond the text. A. Define a social problem: homelessness, unemployment, racism, imitating Parker's style. A social problem is an unyielding storm that ravages the very fabric of society, leaving behind a trail of devastation and despair. It is the heart-wrenching sight of homelessness, where individuals wander through the cold and unforgiving streets, seeking refuge but finding none. It is the agonizing struggle of unemployment, where countless souls yearn for meaningful work and a steady income to secure their basic needs, only to be met with rejection and disappointment. But perhaps the most insidious of all is racism, a venomous poison that seeps into the very soul of humanity, perpetuating division, hatred, and injustice. It is the invisible chains that bind individuals, communities, and nations, stifling progress and tainting the purest of hearts with prejudice. These social problems are not mere statistics or headlines, they are the harsh realities endured by real people, each one bearing their burden of suffering. Poverty, in its many forms, strips away dignity, robs dreams, and crushes hope. The homeless are not just faceless figures, they are mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters, battling not only the elements but also the stigma of their circumstances. Unemployment is not a mere economic indicator, it is the loss of self-worth and purpose, leaving individuals grappling with feelings of worthlessness and rejection. The unemployed are not just numbers in a spreadsheet, they are skilled and capable individuals, yearning for the opportunity to contribute and thrive. And racism is not an abstract concept, it is the daily oppression faced by people of color, a constant reminder of a world that refuses to see their worth and potential. The victims of racism are not just statistics in a report, they are human beings, deserving of love, respect, and equality. To address these social problems, we must not merely offer sympathy or turn a blind eye. We must embrace an unwavering anger, a righteous indignation that fuels our determination to dismantle the systems that perpetuate such injustices. We must raise our voices, challenge the status quo, and demand change. But above all, we must extend a hand of compassion and empathy, recognizing that the struggles faced by the homeless, the unemployed, and those oppressed by racism are not theirs alone. They are our collective burdens, and it is only by standing together, united in our pursuit of justice and equality, that we can truly begin to heal the wounds of our society and pave the way towards a brighter, more inclusive future. B. Using adjectives to highlight the futility of the situation, write a short definition essay on growing up in poverty. Growing up in poverty is a daunting and relentless journey, marked by a constant lack of essential resources and opportunities. It is a pitiful situation that sows the seeds of discontent and frustration, leaving one in a perpetual state of vexation. Happiness becomes an elusive dream as poverty gnaws at the very essence of joy. Every endeavor is shadowed by the overbearing weight of economic hardship, perpetuating a cycle of irritation and disappointment. In the midst of poverty, life takes on a monotonous and wearisome tone. The absence of financial stability deprives one of the ability to explore and experience the richness of life. Opportunities for growth and development remain elusive, as dreams are shackled by the chains of limited means. The simple joys that others take for granted become distant fantasies, and the pursuit of happiness becomes an arduous battle against the harsh realities of poverty. Growing up in poverty is a perplexing experience, as one grapples with the enigma of disparity and inequality. The vast chasm between the haves and the have-nots raises questions that seem to have no answers. Why must some endure a life of struggle while others bask in abundance? The injustice of it all leaves a lingering sense of bewilderment, further fueling the frustration and despair. Every day becomes a frightening journey through a labyrinth of hardships and struggles. The fear of not having enough to survive, of being left behind, of being judged and stigmatized, looms large. The path to progress is marred by obstacles at every turn, and the constant battle for survival takes an immeasurable toll on one's physical and mental well-being. Yet, amid the darkness of poverty, there is resilience and strength. Those who grow up in poverty learn to navigate adversity with determination and courage. They find solace in the bonds of family and community, supporting one another in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. They draw strength from the hope that tomorrow may bring a glimmer of light, a chance for change. Growing up in poverty is a harsh reality that shapes the lives of millions, leaving an indelible mark on their journey. It is a struggle against the odds, a fight for a better future. The experience is tinged with sorrow and weariness, but also with resilience and hope. As a society, it is our collective responsibility to break the chains of poverty and pave the way for a more equitable and compassionate world. Only then can we truly begin to heal the wounds inflicted by poverty and create a brighter and more promising tomorrow for all.